Like, get the fuck back there.
Tell me how you hate me, race me, wish you never dated me. Lies, tell me lies, baby, tell me how you hate me.
Completely forgot about the letter. So, before this video gets started, I'm going to tell you guys the letter today is I. I'm just kidding. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the time I worked at McDonald's. I really hate that place. I'm just gonna give you a little information on why I can talk about this topic and how nobody can say, oh, just one bad experience can't mean all McDonald's are like this. They're probably all like this. If they're not, then there's Oreo. So I worked at 3 McDonald's locations. 3. All in a span of 5 months. 5 months. It was horrible. It was probably the most horrific experience I've ever, at all of them. So let's start when I first got hired. Alright. I thought nothing of it. I thought, okay, great. Their management seems nice. So this is the first location I've ever, so the first location I've ever worked at was the one that was the closest to me, which was down the street from me. I started working there. First couple days were fine. Management was fine. I'm gonna change everybody's name that I talk about so I don't get in trouble or anything for it. I'm gonna name them Bailey and Nicole. So Bailey, she was just a cunt just from the get-go. Like, she was one of the rudest people ever. There was one night where I was doing headset and one of the managers told me to stay where I was at, but nobody was paying attention to making coffees and everything, and they complain about our times because we have times, and ours, we were supposed to be at number 1 or in the top 3, so I didn't want us to fall behind. So I ran over there and she said, you better get the fuck back there. Mind you, this isn't a manager. She's like, get the fuck back there or don't come back to this restaurant ever again. And that's the day she made me cry a lot. Because I haven't done anything to these people, mind you. I didn't even talk to the employees ever. And the employees I did talk to, I made friends with. I'm friends with them up till this day. We're cool. We hang out, we spend the night at each other's houses. We had no problems. Bailey, she kept on doing this, until the day I quit. She would do it, all the time. Sometimes she'd be nice, sometimes she wouldn't. But it was mostly her just being a bitch, all the time. And she just looked like Raccoon. I called her Raccoon Eyes. Because I didn't know her name. But now I know her name. She's a dumb bitch. Anyway, the next person I'm going to be talking about is Nicole. Now, Nicole is just a slut. She's a slut, she's a bitch. I don't give a fuck. And I have every right to say that, but I'm not going to put her business on because that's her business, and I'm not going to put someone else's business out there. That's fucked up. So, anyway, So Nicole, she thought she was entitled. She thought she was the manager. She thought she was top boss and all this other stuff. And she thought she could just boss people around because she knew what she was doing. But I knew what I was doing too. So anything I would do, if I made a mistake or anything, I would get yelled at for it. And not by the general managers either. Like the general manager that worked there and the like person that schedules, they were like nicer than like hell. Like they, like I had no issues with the general manager or any of them. The ones that hired me, I had no problems with. Okay, so this is no disrespect to them, but I'm just telling you guys my experience that their management sucks. Not as bad as the last one I was at, so. But yeah, so at that McDonald's, my first job at McDonald's was shit, like complete shit. And the reason I quit that McDonald's is because, so my boyfriend came in to get a fudge sundae. He asked for extra fudge, which means we put it in the bottom, then we put ice cream in it, and then ice cream on top. So I did that. The manager was like, "You're not supposed to do that." I was like, "This is how we make a fudge sundae with extra fudge." She's like, "That does not say it on this ticket." When it clearly says a fudge sundae, extra fudge topping on it. And I was like, okay. So, okay, well, it says it right there. She's like, "No, you gotta remake it." So I filled up another like container of it, and I had to put one pump in it and give it to him. And the like fudge didn't sink in, and it was just a hot mess. And he's like, "So where's the extra fudge?" And mind you, we had little tickets on them. If you hear noise back there, my boyfriend's cat's just knocking shit off, so. But, yeah. And my boyfriend was like arguing with this manager and stuff. And so she went back. She's an African American woman. Okay. So, and there's a lot of different managers, and he didn't know her name. So he was very respectful about it. He's like, "Can I please talk to the African American manager, please? No disrespect. I just want to talk to her, and I don't know her name." That's exactly what he said. And the manager overheard him calling her an African American, and she just went off on him. And then he got pissed, obviously. Like, he didn't mean any harm, and he kept telling her, like, "I did not mean any harm." He just wanted a refund, and he's like, "I just want a fucking refund." Like, he just went off on her, like, "I just want a fucking refund, like, that's it, or make it right this time, like, or just exchange it out." And he threw ice cream on the floor. It was only a spoonful, so he threw it on the floor, and she called the cops on him. And then after she called the cops on him, when the cops got there, I was like, "Fuck you, I quit." Like, that's when I said, fuck you, I quit. Like, that was when I had the last straw. I was like, "Don't contact me." And my boyfriend is banned from there for asking for a refund for the stuff that he paid for. He paid for extra fudge in his like container. And McDonald's I worked at was in the same town, but it was a little farther than where I was from. Their management was nice. The people were mostly nice for the most part. I only quit there because there was just not enough communication and hours. Like, I have no disrespect towards the one that I worked at. The general manager and the schedule maker, they were kind of rude, but it wasn't like too bad, you know. So I only quit there because of the hours and stuff. Now the last one I worked at, I just quit, I think back in September, like a month ago, like in September or August, or at the end of August or something. I don't remember. But okay, so I was in Shelby, Iowa. I worked at the one in Shelby, Iowa. Let me tell you, I gotta take a breath for this one. So the one in Shelby, Iowa, the one in Shelby, Iowa, don't ever work at. So when I got hired there, mind you, I live 36 minutes away from this McDonald's. So it's like an hour and a half round trip. That's a lot of gas that I did a lot for this company. I worked 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. and on school nights, okay? 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. on school nights, which it is illegal for them to work me those hours. And they did not have my parents sign a parent consent form. They were messing with my paychecks. They are 2 weeks behind on payroll. Not only that, and then my boyfriend got hired when I got hired, okay? And then they have an 18-year-old manager there, okay? She's not mature at all. Like, you can already tell she's not mature enough. Like, this manager would literally go out to the back, drink with her friends, come back in, and yeah, she was just not mature. Anyway, this manager that I didn't like, because she was just dumb. And so one day she confronted me and was like, don't talk shit or I will fire you right here, right now. And I was like, you can't fire me, because she wasn't the general manager, so she can't fire me. Like, like managers, they cannot fire you. Well, they can write you up, but they cannot fire you. So after that argument, after I told her to go fuck herself, she wrote me up for nothing. She wrote me up for saying fuck you and stuff to her, but which is understandable. Like, go ahead. But she actually wrote me up not only for cussing at her, but she said that I stole stuff, I didn't show up for my shifts or anything, so they fired me. So after I got fired, like a week and a half goes by, and then my boyfriend calls me. I'm at the carnival, and I'm like, what's up? Because he's at work, so I'm like, what's up? Like, aren't you at work? And he's like, yeah, well, they said that you can have your job back. Mind you, my boyfriend had to tell me that I wasn't fired. The managers couldn't tell me. They could not contact me themselves and tell me that they made a mistake. So I guess they replayed everything, because I told them I'm going to call corporate. If you don't believe me, like, watch the cameras, like, you know. And so they pulled up the cameras for like the dates that she said I did certain stuff, and I guess the manager said stuff that wasn't true about me, and they said that I could come back. So I ended up coming back, which was a dumb idea, mind you. Dumb idea. Dumb. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I was stupid for going back. I was like, ugh. So I go back, and the first day I get back, I just feel so uncomfortable. They made me feel so uncomfortable. All their eyes were on me. They were giving me dirty ass looks, like, and he put me on window. So they have a different headset than the other two McDonald's that are in my town. So I asked them if they could teach me how to do like a little earpiece. Learned it just fine. So over that like span of time, okay, I'm supposed to be cleaning trays, do tea, and clean, and that's it. Like, I don't have to do anything else. So after I'm done taking orders, it's a small town, it's like in the country, so nobody really comes. So I cleaned all the trays, did the tea, cleaned down the spots they wanted me to, and then I started playing on my phone, and they said it was fine if I did that. And then they want to sit there and say that I didn't do a good job or something, and they were like, quit like being a shit show and do something useful. That's when I was like, okay, but you told me what to do when I'm over in this area, and I did it. And he's like, so you don't need to be on your phone. I was like, so do I just sit there? He's like, no, you gotta do something. I was like, what do I do? And he's like, well, I don't know, that's up to you. I'm like, how does that make any sense to you? Okay, and then he goes outside to smoke because like supposedly I stressed him out. So while he was out there, I clocked out and I just walked right out. I was like, no, you were not gonna treat me like that when you guys said I could be on my phone after I clean everything. And then he wants to come out to my car and be like, if you go back in, like, well, I'll never talk about this again. And I was like, come on, like, you guys are dumb. Yeah. And then my boyfriend recently got fired from there. You wanna know why? Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why? He got fired because he couldn't mop the right way. And not only were they doing this to like me, they were doing it to him too. Like, they don't have access to payroll, so when my boyfriend had to get an apartment, he had to go to the company. Like, he had to go to the higher ups, like corporate, just to get what are they called? I'll put it right here if I remember. But yeah, so they didn't have access to payroll. They did not communicate. They're just evil people, and I just don't want to work. I don't ever work for them. Like, unless you want to be like yelled at for nothing, you want to get fired for nothing, you want to work in an environment where there's just mean people, don't work there. Yeah, just every McDonald's I've ever worked at, all the employees are rude and disrespectful, and I don't recommend working there. But yeah, that concludes the story time. Like I said, I'm going to be posting all week long, so anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys, and bye.